Welcome from Washington, D.C. I'm Jeff Haynes, Commissioner of the USDA Plant Variety Protection Office. I have Bethany Borgia, an examiner with our office, with me today. She is online. Thank you for joining the webinar today. We are excited to be a part of this presentation and hope that we can help explain the requirements of the United States of America Plant Variety Protection application process. We also thank UPOV for setting up this webinar and giving us the opportunity to engage with you. We hope this provides you with the information and answers to streamline your application submission to our office. Thank you again for joining us today, and I'll hand it over to Hen.
Thank you, Jeff. I will share my screen. Then we start the presentation. So good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Today we'll introduce this topic, how to make a plant variety application to the United States of America. Please feel free to interrupt us by raising your hand if you would like to, or to use the chat function to put your question there so that we will handle that accordingly. So this session is meant also to be quite interactive. We'll present some basic information, but don't hesitate to ask any question. So this is really the place to handle that. First of all, I will start with an introduction, a general introduction on UPOV PRISMA. So what is this tool, how it is used, what is the purpose? So in UPOV PRISMA, the application are filed through UPOV PRISMA to PVP offices. So UPOV office is not a receiving office, so does not process the application. UPOV PRISMA will work as a mailbox. So the data is transferred from PRISMA to the PVP office. And after that, the PVP office will assess the application and take a decision to grant or refuse. So PRISMA is an online tool that would assist the applicant in making plant variety protection application in electronic format to PVP office worldwide. Currently, we cover 37 authorities that are covering 70 countries, because we do have 2 regional organizations, European Union CPVO, and then OAPI, African Intellectual Property Organization. So the applicant in UPOV PRISMA can provide the information in English or in any other language, and a translation tool will automatically generate the application form and technical questionnaire to the relevant language accepted by participating PVP office. For example, if you speak Chinese, I saw that there are some Chinese applicants in the room. So you can read the question in Chinese, complete the information, and then the tool will automatically translate it into English. So this will facilitate filing the application to the US in our case today. Finally, the data already provided in one application can be reused in other application by using the copy functionality feature, the copy application feature. So this will help to streamline and automate the file preparation. So we'll speak more into details about how this is going to work. So the UPOV PRISMA is a paying service. That is a fee, which is made via the ePay system, by a credit card or bank transfer. We do have also support to the PayPal at the time of making a submission to a PVP office. So every application will count for one application, one fee, 90 Swiss franc. And for example, if in some cases, it's not the case for the United States, for some cases where we do have also the application for national listing, if we go for a joint application, you will pay only one fee, 90 Swiss franc instead of 180 Swiss franc. The fees must be paid in addition to the fee charged by the PVP office. So in the US, there are some requirements related to this payment. So the payment must be made within 30 days of receipt of the application, and the payment can be done by credit card, pay.gov, or check drawn on a US bank for $5,150 US. So all this information is available also in our website. We have a place where we have all the PVP office procedure for different participating countries supported by UPOV PRISMA. So let's dive a little bit. There are some key facts for the United States of America in UPOV PRISMA. It is possible to apply for PBR since 2017 using UPOV PRISMA. So far, 72 applications were made using UPOV PRISMA to the United States. And then it was done, made or by 21 returning customers. In the United States, as from September this year, it is possible now to apply for all crops and species using UPOV PRISMA. Okay, so now I will pass the floor to my colleague Kasumi, so she can go through that. Do you want to use your presentation, Kasumi, so that you control better?
I think we can do it this way as
Okay.
I will tell you. Thank you, Hans.
Okay.
So now let's walk through how to start an application from scratch. So this way is the standard way when applying per variety and per country. So to begin, you have to log into your Prisma account. If you don't have it, don't worry, we'll explain it later. So when you log in, you click on Start New Application, and this will take you to the New Application Settings page, where you will select crop and species. And for these steps, in details, we recommend using the Select All Crop Species option. You simply type the name of the crop or species, click the magnifying glass icon, and choose your preferred option from the drop-down list. And you select the authority, crop sector, and language for your answers. And once you've done that, click Start, and the application form will be automatically generated. And from there, you just complete the form with the required details and submit it once everything is filled out. So next page. And now we can dive into the application form. So from here, we'll show you how it looks and we can walk through it together step by step. And from here, we can invite Jeff to jump in, Jeff or Bethany to jump in to provide more details on some of the questions as we go along. And remember, as Hen and Martin has mentioned at the start, if you have any questions, it would be usually from here for application form questions. Don't hesitate to raise your electronic hands. We are happy to address them as we move through the form, as it would be easier. So the first part is the applicant section. This is where you will add your details, applicant's details. You have to keep an eye out for the red asterisk you see in each application form, as these indicate mandatory fields that must be filled in. For applicants part, do we have any questions from the floor? For this part, we don't have any. Next, please, Hand. And next section is the representative agent section. So here, if applicable, this is where you will add the details. And I think, Jeff, if you'd like to provide more information on this section.
Yes, thank you, Kasumi. I wanted to note that representatives and agents are not required to reside in the United States of America. You can apply for protection from your international location. We just ask that you include a valid phone number with country code and an email address so we can contact you. Thanks.
And any questions from the floor for this section? I see no hands, so the next page. Next part would be breeder section. Here you answer yes or no, simply. And here, if there is no question, we can go on to the next section, which is for denomination. So temporary designation or experimental name, that is mandatory fill-in, as you see the asterisk. For this section, for questions, does anybody have any comments? Jeff?
Yes, I think I probably should clarify this. In the United States of America, a variety name or denomination isn't required to apply for protection. So that it does need to be established before the certificate is issued. So, but we do require a temporary or experimental variety name with the application. So I think that's why that has an asterisk and the variety name does not, is because it's not, you know, required for filing, but it is required for certificate issuance. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. From participants, would anybody like to ask any questions? No, that is very clear. Thank you. So we can go on to the next section, other applications. So here, if you answer no to the question, is the variety or any component of the variety protected by intellectual property rights? There, no further details are needed, but if selecting yes, you'll be requested to add information on the country, date of filing or issuance, and assigned reference number. There, you can simply click on the add button and you can keep entering as many as necessary. Does anybody have any thoughts or need clarification on this part of the application form? I don't see any. Okay. For novelty section, so there are 5 questions on variety sale. So if your answer is no, there is no extra question. But if yes, there will be additional information requested, as you see here. You fill in the information. Any questions? That sounds okay too. Go on to the next page. And as I said earlier, if you answer no, there is no additional question appearing. So the technical questionnaire. First is general section. An application variety is mandatory to be filled in. And we can go on to the next section if there is no question. Breeding scheme section. Answer yes or no, or add information if you wish to provide. Any questions? No. Okay, the next section, that would be variety characteristics section. Exhibit C, objective description of the variety. So there is a list of characteristics to answer. So click on the most suitable characteristic and go through the whole list. And yes, we have a comment for the apple. We cannot choose. So those questions that depend on crop and species. The first screenshot that we showed, I think the one that's being shown is different from Hen, could you show me just one before the slide, one before that? We showed two different screenshots just as example. Maybe Hen, if you could add.
Yeah. So the apple, so what do you, could you clarify, Tao Tao, on that? So it means that you cannot choose United States when you select Apple. Is that right? So just to clarify that part. Okay.
Yeah,
So
there should be characteristics
the,
for apple for all of
yeah,
the species, but if not,
yeah.
um,
Okay,
they-
maybe I have the the answer to that. So
oh, okay.
depending on the level of it depends on the level of if you are talking about the genus level or the species level or subspecies level. In some cases you need to select the right level in when you go. Maybe I will just go back here. Yeah. So there, when you search for the crop and species, so for example, assuming that you would like to apply for apple fruit varieties, in this case, you need to go to Malus Dom. This is the UPOV code level. So that's really important to make sure that you select the right level. Sometimes, if there is no corresponding UPOV test guideline, you don't have the list of the characteristics. You get the generic technical questionnaire, and then it's free text. So you need to enter manually all the characteristic name. So this is the case for the crops where there is no UPOV test guideline available. That's why this is the way it works actually. So now that the United States is covering all crops and species, we display the list of all characteristics. So this is required. If there is a UPOV test guideline, if there is no UPOV test guideline corresponding to this one, so it will show a generic form with free text information. You need to input the characteristic name and the state of expression. Yeah, so is it clear now? Maybe Tao Tao, if you want, we can also have a separate meeting, and then we can discuss that in a separate place. Okay, so there
I
are
think
some
there's a good,
questions.
yes, I think we can start from Carsten's. So the question is, in the breeding scheme section, which option must be chosen for gene-edited varieties?
Let me just go there on this one. Yeah.
Would Jeff like to add comments for that? For Carsten?
Yes. Let's see. Is it here that the question is, or is it the next? Is it the breeding scheme? Is the question from the breeding scheme?
Yeah, I think this is the breeding scheme. It corresponds to Exhibit A.
What's the previous slide?
Uh,
Oh, no.
no, this one is the characteristics. And then after that, you do have the additional information and then GMO.
I think, can you clarify the question?
Sure, this is Carsten. So I'm dealing with this right now, and we've got two questions really: whether a gene-edited variety would be considered as GMO or not in the US, and secondly, what information do we need to provide about the gene edit that was made, and in which section of the form would that be? So I think it might be the breeding scheme section, but it could also be another section.
Oh, I understand now. Yes, you would indicate that it's a genetically modified organism, and you would provide the details in the breeding history.
Okay, so just for my case, there's a standard reference variety that's been gene edited, and using a standard CRISPR-Cas approach to make a knockout edit. So what we would say in our application form is what the reference variety is, and also what the edit is, but there's no other information we need to provide. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
Okay, so maybe we can move to the next one. I have copied an existing application and sees the general topic above does not appear. This one does not appear in the generated copy.
Yes,
Uh,
it might be have to do with the crop type which is selected, because I have chosen for an ornamental crop.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, now I got you. So yes, because actually potato is a customized technical questionnaire. However, for others, I just need for others is generic technical questionnaire. So this is related to the crop. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So if there is any other question
No,
regarding the section, yeah.
there's still okay. Go back to the TQ, the general one still. Okay. This one. There was something that was obliged to fill in. It is not clear what it is meant by that, the application variety. What is this exactly? So could you explain more, Jeff? What is application variety?
Yes, that refers to the variety that you are protecting. It's the subject variety. So you would just restate the variety name that you're protecting, that you're applying for protection, and then it would be the color system you're using.
Great. So maybe now we can move where we stopped. Thank you for the interaction. Yeah. So yeah, we stopped in.
I'm not sure if we went to variety comparison yet. Maybe we'll start from here.
Yeah.
So now starting again from variety comparison section. So that would be exhibit B, statement of distinctness. So there are the information based on overall morphology. So you'll need to add specific information below that. For this part, does anyone from the floor would need further clarification? Any questions? No, I guess we can move on to the next. That would be additional information section. So here you will add any additional information such as the location of the test area, any other quality characteristics or chemical traits that may aid in identification. So there, I think we've received two questions from Carly. And the first question is, can we finish the application in Chinese, the language? The second question is special Visa card needed to complete payment? So I think the second will be for Jeff, and then the first part, it's Hans want to answer
Yeah,
that?
I think this is what I explained at the beginning, that actually you can read the question in Chinese and then complete the information. All the drop down here, let me just share this. For example, all the variety description, the state of expression there, can read it in Chinese, complete everything in Chinese, and it will be automatically translated into English. So this is done. However, when you have, for example, there some kind of this, for example, state where how this variant maybe identify their type and frequency, this is like a free text part. We don't use now machine translation for that. You need to complete this field in English. So if you don't complete it in English, it will not be automatically translated. Anything related to drop-down options and so on, the questions, everything will be translated into English automatically. But any free text answer, you need to put it there in English. And then the Visa card. So maybe I will reply to the part related to Prisma, because there is one Prisma fees, and then the other one is for the US. But for the Prisma fees, it is possible to use the China credit card. It is where we have the information about the payment, and then yeah, this is what we have, the Union Pay that it is supported. China Union Pay is supported in UPOV Prisma. So this is the different credit card that we supported in when you pay fees in UPOV Prisma. So that's from UPOV Prisma perspective. And then from US perspective, Jeff, I can also put on the screen the information that was not that you can explain.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you. So you mean that in China we can use Chinese Union Pay to finish this payment?
For UPOV Prisma. But as I explained before, there are two fees. One is UPOV Prisma fees. This one you can use China Union Pay for that. And then another one is the national fees. And for that, so I think Jeff, you can explain more.
Yeah, we will only accept Visa, MasterCard, Diners Club. I think they're the standard credit cards that are drawn on US banks. We don't have a means other than like an Amazon or PayPal. We don't have another means to accept foreign credit cards or international credit cards yet. We're working on it. So, but for now, we would normally be a Visa or MasterCard.
Thank you.
Okay, maybe just one. I received a question. Right, as
I'm sorry, I missed that.
I application variety name just as denomination.
Let's see.
The signal is bad.
And your sound gets cut off.
Okay, I will say it again. Application variety name, the same as denomination.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, so maybe Kasumi, you can read the question if the sound on my side is not really good.
Yes, so Carly's question's finished. So the next question is from Carsten. Does the US office take into account, first, post-harvest phenotypes, and two, disease resistance phenotypes for distinctness?
Yes, we most definitely do. This is a big part of our examination, and we use it for supporting. We up to this point we haven't used these characteristics for approval of protection, but it is very high. We usually can find another morphological characteristic that proves distinctness, but we definitely take these into account. That's a good question. Thank you. This is becoming more and more important.
Thank you for the question and thank you for the answer. The next question is from Estella. May multiple people work on the same application? I think that is for UPOV PRISMA. In UPOV PRISMA, there's always one main person which becomes breeder admin or agent admin who will be at the top of the company or organization. And you can add as many of team members if you want to work together. And yes, then they, as long as they have been added to the team, they can work on the same application. Hope that answers question. And
Maybe
yeah,
if I may add,
yes,
so the main purpose is actually to be able to distribute the different role and responsibilities on that, and then what Prisma will offer also is a kind of lock-in mechanism, so that it will allow the people to work at the same time at the same time for the same application. So, for example, if a person is already, let's say, modifying the form, it will not be allowed to any other person to go and edit the form. So this will be also handled by the tool itself to allow collaborative way of working on that. And also there are this possibility to put in contact also agent and applicant, so that they can also be working at the same time also on the same application to for example, complete some document from the agent perspective. All of this is handled in UPOV Prisma. It's really a collaborative tool.
thank you, Hent. And the next one is information provided by Kristen. It should be noted, breeding scheme, different countries ask different requirements. For example, Alpha UK need far less than Australia IP. UK and EU also have the option that some breeding scheme information is confidential through USA, and Australia does not have this. Thank you for the information. That's very helpful. The next question that would be from Marianne. After submission, will this application be visible in US EPVP accounts?
Yes, it will.
Thank you.
You can submit it through Prisma, and we upload it to the EPVP system, and you can view it there also.
Thank you, Jeff. The question that we have next is the last one for the time being. If information about causative gene edit of a phenotype of a variety is supplied in an annex, can this annex be set as confidential?
Is that a question for me?
It's between both of us, I think.
If
Go ahead.
for us, for the United States of America, whatever you submit is not confidential. Everything in the application is public, will become public.
I think that's we've answered all the there's another one. Let me see. Yes, Carly has sent a question if after this webinar, if they could contact us. Yes, anybody who would have any questions, you can contact us at prisma@upov.int. We'll be showing you the email address at the end of presentation, and we'll also send you in chat. Yes, and thank you very much. There is an email address if you have any questions. And for the US as well, there is an email address added. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send to us. And now we'll continue with the application form. I think we will add GMO information. Thank you. So in this section, you answer yes or no. If there is insertion of genes, you can add description if answering yes. Any questions before we move on? Okay, so now we can move on to the last category, which is declaration and signature. So the first section is declaration and signature. As you see, the asterisk in red for the signature of owner. So this is mandatory to attach. Question or any comments from the floor? None. Okay, so last section is attachment. And there are many attachments you can add, but Exhibit E statement of the basis of the owner's ownership is mandatory to attach. And the last attachment at the bottom, it's indicated filing examination and issuance fee of 5,150 is due and payable at www.pay.gov by contacting the Plant Variety Protection Office. But I thought perhaps, Jeff, if you could add what needs to be attached here, as it's mandatory, but it's not very clear what has to be attached to this application form part.
Yeah, absolutely. Sammy, thank you. I believe that this part, if you make a payment on the pay.gov system, you can attach your confirmation in the application. But if you don't make the payment when you submit the application, you don't have to attach anything. We will send you an invoice to make the payment. So hopefully that clarifies it. That's really there in case you make the payment first.
Thank you, Jeff. And I think you wanted to provide information on germplasm deposit. That would be helpful.
Yes, absolutely. Our law, the U.S. Plant Variety Protection Act, requires deposits for sexually reproduced and potato varieties. So there is a germplasm requirement there. It's due after you receive the filing letter. The filing letter will provide instructions. All asexually reproduced varieties other than potatoes require a signed germplasm deposit delay waiver. And that delay waiver is submitted with the filing letter. So you'll receive that also. And the delay waiver just indicates that you will maintain the germplasm at a location of your choice and have it available if needed by our office during the term of protection.
Great, thank you. So now we'll be answering the questions that we have in chat. The first question is for you, Jeff. Do PVP applications get published before they are granted?
No, we do publish the ID number and the denomination, if it has a denomination, or the experimental name, experimental denomination, and the species. But that is all until the certificate is issued and the applicant receives the certificate of protection, then it's published.
Thank you, Jeff. And another question is also for you. I have a question about signature of the owner. We are agent for several applicants, so we can sign instead of the owner.
Yes, this is normal. We normally receive the a signature of the representative or agent on behalf of the owner. We normally don't receive the owner's signature. So yes, that's fine.
Thank you.
Next question. Could you share this meeting record to me by email? I think the recording will be available on the website.
Mm.
It will be published on the website, so you will find it in a few days at least, by the end of this week, surely. The next question, does the US PVP office agree to take over reports from previous PVPs, for example, EU? In which case do you make the full payment first, then email for a refund?
We do take over DUS reports, and I do need to clarify that because we have been receiving technical questionnaires or just the preliminary questionnaires. We do need the full DUS report with all the characteristics described. I'm not sure what you mean by a refund. We don't charge for the DUS report, but we do still require our application fee. Does that need to be clarified?
Kirsten, if you want further clarification, you can write. While waiting, I guess we can go on to the next question. Or Hans, would you like to show
No,
anything?
I might. So is it related to the fact that there are 3,864 examination fee? Maybe this is related to that one. No. So maybe Kristen, if you can take the floor to clarify.
She's asking, does the application fee include the DUS? Not include the DUS.
No, we will request the DUS report for you, but if you have the DUS report, you can submit it. If it's already been paid for, if we have to request it from the authority and they charge a fee, which the EU does, that is an extra fee that we pass on to the applicant.
Kirsten has added one comment. The 5,150 shows it includes the DUS.
That is our examination fee. That is not the DUS report from another authority.
Okay. Good.
That is an additional charge. Not all authorities charge for it, but the EU does.
One last question. If Variety have already granted, will PVP office will take over Chinese DUS report and upload the report as attachment here?
Yes, we'll accept DUS reports from the Chinese Plant Variety Protection Office. It does need to be in English if possible.
Thank you. So does anybody have further questions regarding application form? If not, I will then pass the floor over to Hans to explain about bulk upload functionality that we now have in UPOV Prisma.
There are still some question. US from South Africa, is it acceptable?
Yes, it is. We've received DUS reports from South Africa already.
Okay, good. And then there's still Kristen, I'm unclear if the application report noted US.
Yes, I understand. Our system is a little bit unique. We're not performing the grow out trials, but we do perform an examination of documentation and the characteristics. So we we take over the DUS report, but we still perform our own examination using the DUS report. So we don't just automatically accept the DUS report and the results of that report. We take it into account. We've never had an issue with accepting a DUS report and issuing a certificate from another UPOV authority, but we still perform an internal examination and review of the DUS report. So that's what that fee is for.
Good.
Thank
So
you.
maybe, thank you. So I will just try to quickly go through the some information. If you are interested to get more information about that, please let us know, and then we'll be able to address this. So you can file your application as what was shown one by one, but there is also 2 other ways of doing that. Per country in a batch, you can file a batch of variety at the same time. So this is possible through a specific way, like with the Excel file. So I will show that quickly. Or you can also file a variety in different territories. So if you have the data for one variety, you can always copy it and then file 2 different other territories. So how does it work? Actually, there is a kind of template that can be downloaded per country and per crop. And then the idea is to configure this template to just put some specific cases like applicant, how many representative, all of this information. You download the template, and then after that you complete the Excel file. And this will help to get more or less all the application in one go. So there will be some steps. You complete the Excel. In case of attachment, you declare them in the declaration of and signature tab, and then you zip them, and then after that you upload the file. Once it's there, so you will be able to have automatically completed all the sets. But assuming that you will go for 5 application, you will have to complete 5 columns in the Excel, and then after that you will have 5 completed application data. You validate them, you see if the generated PDF are fine, and then you can select all the record and submit at once. So this is one of the advantages of the let's say of the functionality that we do offer also in UPOV Prisma. And then maybe Kasumi, quickly you can go through the copy functionality.
Yes, sure. So we have copy functionality in UPOV Prisma as well. So you can either choose to copy the application of a different variety or to copy the application of the same variety. So for the above, it should be chosen in case of submission for different variety for same country. And for the below, for different country or for same variety. So the answers of the questions, semantically similar copied from the source application to the target application. For the same authority, a template application data per authority can be created and copied for any application in that authority. For the same variety, for the when UPOV TQ is used, it will be 100% copied. And then next page, that would be about how to create an account in UPOV Prisma. There, I'm not sure if you have time to go through it, but to quickly explain, now I sent you all a link to the information page, which includes all the links. But for example, if you don't have WIPO user account, first you'll need to create WIPO user account, and then prepare an authorization letter and send it in UPOV Prisma. System itself, you have model authorization letter in this link, either both for breeder and agent, and you'll receive any confirmation email once your request has been approved. This may take some time, so if you have any deadline facing, then you should send it to us a few days before or a lot in advance. So if you have any questions regarding creation of accounts, you can also send us an email. And this is the email address and the website if you have any questions. And for application form related questions, you can directly send an email to the US email address that was shared with you by Bethany.
Okay. There are still questions on the chat. Kasum, if you want to handle that.
Yes, I see 2 questions to go through. Is it mandatory to pay the examination fee even if the result of the DUS is done by another office already
Okay.
submitted?
Yeah.
Yes, that's still a requirement by our program. If you have the DUS report, you can attach it and include it so that we don't have to request, we don't require requesting a DUS report directly from another authority. If you attach it, we'll accept it.
Thank you. The last question, is it okay? From
Yes.
Carsten, can a US plant variety application claim priority from a US plant patent application directed to the same variety?
Yes.
Last question, I think there is one more. So do the applicants not need to send the apple plant material to US if the US report is accepted? Just supply a signed statement.
That's correct. We have the deposit delay waiver that needs to be signed, and we just have that on file.
Thank you. Another question. If the breeder is not the applicant, do you need a signed assignment?
No. As long as the representative or agent is the one representing the breeder, and that's based on the application. We need the signature from whoever submits the application.
Thank you. Do we have any questions from the floor? Any further questions?
Nothing. So we are already running
Yeah.
after 5. Yeah. Oh, I think yeah, it's yeah, maybe Martin, if you can say a few words before we close the webinar.
Yes, so it's past 5 already, but at our time, but you have also spent a bit more than an hour, so I will be very brief. First of all, thanks again for all the participants. I think this showed that there are a lot of questions out there and that we can address those questions. And this cannot be done always in a 1-hour webinar. So as as Hen said, and Kasumi and Jeff as well, don't hesitate to use the Prisma. And if you don't know exactly how to use it, we are there to help you, and we can answer. We will try to answer all the questions you may have. So thanks a lot, Kasumi and Hen and Jeff, for those presentations from my side as well. And we look forward to receiving your questions, but also applications through Prisma. And we will continue to work very closely with the US Department of Agriculture to ensure that if you have hesitations, we can support you in that. So thank you very much from my side.
Maybe just
Yes.
one last remark for the one who are not used to with Prisma. So this is the first time they are using Prisma. To not hesitate to contact us so that we can also show you different aspects that we didn't really have time to go into details today. So the new user, please don't hesitate to come to us. Also the others, but here we just try to really stress that yeah, we will be happy really to guide you through your first steps in UPOV PRISMA. Okay, thank you all, and have a good day, good evening. Bye. Bye-bye.